Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom, or Kay from Millennial Mom, and today we're going to talk about 90 Day The Single Life, Season 4, Episode 3, Debbie Tells a Lie. Now, before I begin, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button, leave me your comments so I know what you thought about this episode. All right, let's get started. We have John, Veronica, and Tim, Debbie, Natalie, and Chantel. Okay, so let's get started with John. He's the newest cast member to join. John is 39, originally from Massachusetts, now living in Las Vegas. He describes himself as a laid-back kind of guy and a procrastinator, and not everyone's cup of tea. He said when he was younger, he was a party boy. He was into different little things. He's had 3 girlfriends in life, and he's been engaged 1 time. And he considers himself a serial dater. Now, if you're not familiar with John, I have seen John before on a previous 90-day franchise when he was with his brother Patrick, who married Thais. Well, John didn't really care for Thais, his brother's wife, or fiance before he became wife, and Thais didn't care for John because she felt John was lazy and didn't have any ambition. And John in confessional admitted that, he just liked to party, and he really, in the last few years, have gotten his life together. Now, John is telling his brother Patrick and Thais that I met someone, her name is Megan, and I feel pretty good about her. I've been dating her for about 5 months. And while he was saying all that, Patrick stopped him and was like, what? You've been dating her for 5 months. How come we don't know? Like, is this a secret or something? And John said, no, it's not a secret. I just didn't tell nobody because I didn't know how serious it was. Now, the background of Megan is, John said, that Megan slid into his DMs about 5 months ago and they hit it off. So he decided to visit Megan, who lives in San Antonio, Texas, to go visit her and see, if they can have a connection. Well, apparently John said the connection was primarily in the bedroom, so that's where he feels that maybe they can get along in a relationship. But there's one catch though. Megan has a daughter. She's 4 years old, and John is telling his younger brother that, listen, he's not a family man. He never even considered anyone a lady with a daughter, let alone dark hair with a daughter. I think dark hair is his preference. I don't know. But he didn't want to be in a relationship with someone that had that kind of baggage. And at the same time, he goes, well, he knows it's a package deal. Well, yes, your children are a package deal if you're dating a man, woman, or whoever. Let's move to, now on the single life, it's Veronica and Jamal, but I didn't realize we're going to have Tim as well. So I guess, we're getting a 2-for-1. It's going to be Veronica, we're following her story, along with Tim following his own story, and then meshing them both together. So that's why I'm saying a 2-for-1. Well, Tim is going on a date with Louisa because last episode we saw Tim go out on a singles mixer, and at the mixer he met up with Louisa, who he said that they had met online or something a couple months prior, but nothing ever transpired with that. Now, when I saw that part of the episode, I was like, okay, so he was with Veronica. I'm like, okay, so Veronica's taking Tim to like, hey, go hang out, go do something else, and whatever comes with that. But I didn't realize he's going to have his own little segment on the single life too. But here we are. Well, today Tim is on a date with Louisa, and I forgot what you call that game. If you know what it is, let me know in the comments. I forgot. But Tim said, he's just out here to see what's up with Louisa and to get to know her better and to see if he could get another date. Well, Tim is attracted to Louisa. Tim describes her as his type because she's Latin. He likes Latin women. He thinks they're exotic. He likes her accent and different things like that. So yeah, he's willing to see where it can go. And then we have Louisa in confessional. She said she loves Tim's green eyes and she's very attracted to Tim. So far it looks like they can be a couple going forward if that's what they choose to do. Well, as the date goes along, Tim is asking Louisa, name 5 things that you would want in a relationship or what you need in a relationship. So Louisa names her things. And then she asked Tim about his. And Tim said, you know what? He can't really come up with anything right now because he's Southern and he likes to take things slow. Now, in confessional, Tim is sitting next to Veronica and Tim is replaying the conversation with Louisa, where Tim gives even more detail when he says, you know what? Even intimacy is off the table because I have to get to know you first. I want to know we're compatible before I even dive into having that type of connection with someone. That's how slow he moves. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that, but at least be upfront and put that on the table. Well, Louisa asked Tim, I guess in a way she was like trying to ask him to, in a small way, to win her heart. So she's like, you know what, I would like if you would like take a Spanish class, you know, to get to know my language better and things like that. And Tim says, well, I know a little bit of Spanish. And she goes, oh yeah? So she called his bluff. She goes, say something to me. And Tim said to her, I would like to have another date with you. And I believe that took Louisa by surprise because she had a big old smile on her face. And Louisa said that she would go out on another date with Tim. So there you go. Date number 2 coming up for Tim and Louisa. All right, let's move to Miss Debbie. So Debbie's son, Julian, is taking Debbie grocery shopping before he goes to work. Now, Julian is a police officer, but why did he come over in his patrol unit taking his mom to the grocery store on taxpayer dollars? I mean, is that what the patrol car is used for? I don't think that it is, but I mean, I guess for the sake of the show to prove he was a police officer, I guess. Well, on the way to the grocery store, Debbie is telling her son Julian that, hey, guess what? I've been online and I met somebody. Julian was like, what? Not again, Mom. Because see, Julian was there when Debbie was on her franchise of the 90-Day Fiancé when she was with Muhammad, who was 24 years old from Morocco. So you have Debbie, 67, and Mohammed, 24. I took a little pause from there because I believe Debbie was 67 on that season too, unless this was filmed at the same time. But okay, whatever, hold your age, that's fine. So Julian, Debbie's son, is not happy about this. He's like, you know what? What's this person's name, social security number, where they work, blah, blah, blah. Debbie said, no, don't even worry about that, because if I tell you where I'm going to be, you'll have the whole SWAT team there. And you know what? I believe that. I believe Julian would pull some rank and have some people there to watch his mom, or even him himself in the corner seeing what's going on with his mom. Well, Debbie says to her son that she met this guy named Russ and they're going to have their first date later. And Debbie said that Russ is 60, but she said on the dating site that she was 57, 10 years younger. And so Julian was like, why would you do that? She's like, well, I don't know. She goes, I don't think someone would like me being 67 in the dating world. And Julian said, yes, they would. There's 67-year-old men out there who would like you. Well, Julian offered Debbie to take his pepper spray or get her some pepper spray to go on a date because, listen, Julian knows how his mom is when it comes to men and relationships. All right, now, later in the episode, we do see Debbie meet up with her date, Russ. They are out playing mini golf, and when Debbie and Russ meet, it seems mutual. It seems like they like each other from the start. They're having, they're smiling at each other, having small conversation. But while they're going through playing mini golf, Debbie's like, ooh, you're really good at this. Russ says, I come every Thursday. I'm like, okay, Russ, take Debbie to your spot. Okay. So Debbie then, I'm not sure if the game is actually over or it just ended. Well, whatever it is, Debbie decided to come clean and tell Russ that, you know what? I told a lie. I'm not 67. I'm not 57. I'm 67. And Russ was like, age is just a number. So Debbie goes, oh, good. I'm so glad that you said that. Now, Russ said, why don't we go have drinks? So when they go have drinks, I think it's in the same little area that they played mini golf. And the drinks come, and Debbie's not even tipsy or nothing like that. Debbie goes on and decides that she wants to be upfront with Russ right away. So she's telling Russ about her relationship with Mohammed, She thought he would be her husband. He's 24. He's Morocco. Just laid the whole thing on the line. And Russ is in confessional like, wow, like I'm processing this information. And I'm thinking, Debbie, you just met this man. You don't have to put every single detail of your life up front right now. I'm thinking this is a reason if you get ghosted, this is the reason why. Yeah, you're being honest, but I mean, all this right now may not even get past another date. Well, also in confessional, Russ says not just the processing, but he feels like she's giving information a little bit too much, TMI. And then Debbie's confessional, she feels that maybe she did too, but at the same time, Debbie took that leap of faith and asked Russ, hey, I would like to see you again for another date. And Russ said, sure. It was a little bit hesitant, but he decided he was going to go too. So yeah, Debbie, you did overshare. Let's move to Natalie. So Natalie is now in her own place. It's a place by the beach. Looks like she would move to Long Beach, California. Josh said that after some talking and negotiating, because Josh has a lot of people in the business aspect, and last week when they were looking at apartments, he knew the real estate agent. Well, he said that he helped put down a lump sum of money for Natalie and also became the guarantor. I am very surprised by this because Josh really seemed like he wasn't trying to do none of that, because he said he didn't know where his relationship was with Natalie right now. He didn't know if they were there for him to even like take on this kind of, you know, these ties with her or anything else, invest in whatever she wanted to do. Now, Natalie, of course, is sitting next to Josh like, like, oh, I'm so happy. You know, like she won this time. Like, you know, I knew he would do this for me, when she was just pouting and carrying on because she feels like that's what he was supposed to do. Now, at the new house, Natalie and her mom apparently have a ocean view somehow, because they're looking at the ocean, or you know, they're not very far. So I'm like, wow, like they got a really good spot. An ocean view? Oh yeah, that's a chunk of change for an apartment, a condo, a house, anything. Okay, so Natalie's mom is very happy to be where they are, and Natalie is just kind of like, I don't know, she's like gushing about it as if she took care of all this, or maybe it was like, yeah, mom, see, I told you I would get us here, and you know, at a place that we can both like, and just, you know, do this for us, right? That's what I got from it. So Natalie's mom is cool with it and all. She's like, yes, it's nice, but maybe we should invite Michael over to the place. And the look that Natalie had on her face was like, why would you want to do that? Now, Mike is Natalie's first husband who lives in Washington. And I've explained in other videos, but I'll explain again, that Mike took the time to get the money together to process the visa to bring Natalie's mother over, because you know there's unrest over there because Natalie and her mom's from Ukraine, to bring her over to the States. So, and on top of that, Natalie's mom is always like Mike, always, whether you watch their season or not. I'm letting you know, if you didn't, Natalie's mom, you know, you would have thought if she was 20, 30 years younger, would be in a relationship with Mike. That's how much she really, really cared for Mike. And so now it's like, no, we don't need to invite him over right now. Let's see how things go with Josh. Natalie tells her mom, by the way, you know, to change the subject, Josh has invited us out to dinner. So Natalie's mom is going to dinner. She's getting ready. In confessional, Natalie is saying, I hope Josh makes a good impression, because mom is still upset about being left at the airport. See, mom needs some answers, because she is not cool with being left at the airport or not having a decent place to stay. But then again, I have to blame some of that on Natalie too. Like, she should have had some ducks in a row and not just depend on Josh, because is Josh really her man? Well, they get to the restaurant. Natalie's mother smiles, you know, it's like, hi, nice to meet you. You know, Natalie's mother's first language is from Ukraine. I don't know the official language of Ukraine, but that's what she speaks primarily, and very little English. But she did say, nice to meet you, in English. So when she said that to Josh was like, oh, good English. So he was asking questions. And I think that maybe he felt that Natalie's mom knew as much English as Natalie, and she does not. So Natalie was translating. So Josh told her mom that, you know, he was sorry about the airport. And, you know, Natalie's mom kind of like, and how was Natalie growing up? And Natalie's mom was saying the different things she did in high school. And I'm like, Mom, is that the only thing you could bring about is the things she did in high school? Like, what she do since she's been an adult? But I can tell you what she's done. Now, if you don't know and you haven't followed Natalie in other 90-day series, Natalie has been married, including Mike, that lives in Washington State, has been married 3 times. All right, finally, we have Chantel. It's Chantel and the Divorce Cruise. 3rd day out in Greece. She says she's excited about the new guy on her roster. She said the professional football player Giannis she met last night. Now, if you don't remember, Giannis is the friend of the olive oil company owner's friend who he brought to the club when he invited Chantel and her friends out after being at his farm for a good time. I'm like, is this what people who own businesses do? But maybe they do. Maybe they're that friendly in Greece. All right, so, well, today, Chantel is saying how Giannis, however you say it in Greece, has invited Chantel and her friends to be with his friends to watch him play. He's a professional football player, in football in Europe, you know, soccer for us Americans, to hang out and everything like that. So Chantel said yes, she would go. Chantel told her friends this like during the day while they were just out sitting around, maybe at the pool or wherever they were. Well, I guess they think they have time to go to the hotel to change when Chantel gets a text from Gianna saying, hey, can you meet us at 7 o'clock, maybe at the hotel where he's at? And so when they look at the time, it's already like 5, so they have less than 2 hours to get there. So Chantel decides to, and her friends, they don't have time to change. So Chantel is going to put on like part of the outfit she had on earlier in the day, along with some fresh undergarments. And while one friend does her hair, one friend does her makeup so that she could look presentable. And I'm like, you know what? Chantel says that she's a risk taker and you only live once. She said European relationships are so romantic, and she said she wants to know more about Giannis. And I'm thinking, you know what, Chantel? In my opinion, it's coming across that, once again, you're not healed and you're doing whatever, and your friends are encouraging to do things that's not normally you, to meet someone, to jump into a relationship where you really don't have time to be with someone. She said that she didn't want to, have a long distance and relationship and go back and forth and just meet someone the same way she met Pedro. But she's doing the same thing. She's putting herself out there as if she's desperate. So anyways, that was in the episode. Next time, we're going to see John fly to San Antonio to be with Megan for the 2nd time. We're going to have Chantel meeting up with Giannis. And Chantel says she has wants to see if she has an actual connection with him. She says she's feeling good about it. And then we have Debbie saying that her and Russ has been spending a lot of time together, and she has a lot of hope in the relationship. And I'm very surprised at that based off of Russ's sure answer he gave. And then we have Veronica and Jamal meet with Jamal's friends, but yet invites Tim to hang out with her and Jamal. And Jamal and Tim, things go left based on conversation about Tim's involvement with Veronica's daughter, who he's helped raise. So, all right, everyone. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share. And until next time, everyone, live simply, be grateful.